Okaeri, welcome back to my channel, Made Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be doing my March TBR. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. So some of these books are gonna look a little bit familiar because I completely failed at pretty much every challenge I put for myself in February. I did read books, and there was one priority book I did finally get to, which you'll hear about, of course, but the actual challenges that I have on my channel, like my classics challenge, my physical book challenge, the read-along a couple of the read-alongs I was supposed to do, yeah, I just failed. I have no excuse, I just did not prioritize correctly and didn't get them done. So, since these challenges were created for an actual legitimate reason, which is that I want to do them, I'm going to prioritize those challenges from the previous months this month. So some of these books are going to look familiar. Maybe you can go ahead and pause the video now and leave some guesses down below which books you think are still going to be here from previous TBRs. Also, I'm filming in the morning before work, which is something I don't usually do. So I don't really have time to like style my hair and do stuff that I usually do. So if I look a little frumpy today, just, you know, work with me here. The first book from this pile of shame that's being carried over is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. So this was one of the books that I pulled out of my physical TBR jar last month. I do very much want to read this. I had another audiobook though that I was listening to, and that took a lot longer for me to get through than I thought it would. I definitely plan to read this as a hybrid, both audio and physical, so I was waiting until I finished the previous audiobook to pick up this one, but like I just said, it took way longer to finish than I thought it would, so I didn't really get started on this one. So I definitely plan to pick up this one this month. It's big, it's heavy, it's a chunker, but I think if I attack it as a hybrid, I'll be able to get it done this month, no problem. The next one is going to be on my next several TBRs just because of the way I've decided to read it, to tackle it, but that doesn't excuse the fact that I didn't make any progress whatsoever last month, and that is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Herman Melville? Herman Melville? Hermy. It's kind of a cute name. Herman Melville. So what I decided to do for this book is I have split it into chapters, into different sections. So there are 14 sections I've separated this into with approximately the same amount of pages in each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to read 3 sections each month. And that means it'll give me about 5 months, you know, well, the 1 month will be less, I'll read only 2 chapters or 2 sections, but that'll be about, in 5 months I should finish this book. And so it's a reasonable amount of pages. So 3 sections, the first 3 sections are 182 pages, which I definitely think that, you know, I could get through in a month. So looking at it this way, it feels much more manageable. It feels like something I could definitely actually tackle. So did not make progress last month, but this month, it's a priority. It's a priority for me. So yeah, I've got those first 3 sections. I don't know if you can see with the tabs, and I will be reading those this month. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. This next pick is also from my TBR jar, which is why I just say my TBR jar hates me. Because so far in January, I picked, what did I pick in January? Moby Dick. And in February, I picked A Promised Land and the collected stories of William Faulkner. So this as well is a chunker. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to get through. So I've done the same thing, and there are 5 different sections in this book. So I've marked them at the top with tabs. This chunker, this is going to be a chunker of a month, but because this is also 5 sections, I'm going to try to read 1 section a month, just like I'm doing with Moby Dick. So this one should be slowly, I should be making progress through this. So this month, the first section is, how many pages? 115 pages. So I could definitely get through that, I think. So since my TBR jar saw it fitting to give me 2 of my largest classics books within 2 months, that's how I've decided to split them up and tackle them little by little. The next book that's officially on my TBR is Legacy of the Brightwash. So this is a self-pub book that is an SPFBO. I always have to like see the letters in my head when I say that, but SPFBO finalist. So that means that it was in the top 10 from that competition. So I have it on my Kindle. Don't mind how just busted this Kindle case is. I've had this for so long, and it's going strong when it comes to protecting my Kindle. Oh, apparently I should be reading some more romance novels. It's being advertised to me. Hello, sir. From Kindle Unlimited. So just like this romance novel, the SPFBO finalists, a lot of the self-pub books are available on Kindle Unlimited, which I do have. So I have that on here, and I will be reading it this month for sure. I have a very loose goal on my channel to read all of the SPFBO finalists from 2021, to read them this year, but it's very flexible how many I read a month or how many, you know, how I do that. But I decided to pick this particular one up this month because it's supposed to be like this. I think the main character is like a warden of some sort. And he kind of upholds the law wherever he is, in his world. But then his daughter, I think, does something that's against the law, and it kind of opens his eyes to how unfair the law can be. And so even though technically you're doing the right thing, were those laws correct in the first place? So I think that's part of it. I'm pretty sure. Besides that, I just know that it's a grim, dark world, and I've heard so many people just praise this and love on it. I haven't really heard anything bad said about it yet. So yeah, this is definitely one that I'm excited to get to this month. Another book from the shame pile that I am prioritizing very highly this month is my classics pick that I had for February. So I was supposed to read Pride and Prejudice. In January, I read The Picture of Dorian Gray, and in February, I was supposed to read Pride and Prejudice, but I didn't. But this is a book that I really genuinely, truly want to read. Like, I'm really excited to pick it up. So this is a priority for me this month. And I'm a huge fan of witty humor, both within the character, the world of the characters, and also that kind of reaches outside of the book and talks about the world that the author is living in and poking fun at that, which I've heard Jane Austen does. So I feel like it's really up my alley. I'm gonna love it. So that's a high, high priority for this month. This next book was actually a really pleasant surprise for me last month, so I decided to continue on into this month, and that is to read the Memoirs of Lady Trent series. So over on Tea Books Magic, Maria's channel, they're doing a read-along. I'll be sure to link her up above and down below. They're doing a read-along over there. I think there's a couple different hosts, but I found out through Maria's channel. And so I've been wanting to read this series for a really long time. The covers of the books always pulled me in. They're beautiful, and I would love to have them on my shelves, or I wanted to buy them even before I read them for my shelves. But I decided that since they were doing this readathon, this is the universe telling me now is the time to pick these up. So I joined the read-along, and I read the first book, A History of Dragons, last month, and I loved it. Spoiler alert for my wrap-up, but I loved that book. I listened to it via audiobook, and it was just, it was such a delight. So I'm going to continue on with the readathon, or the read-along, I suppose, this month in March. So we're going to read the second book, which is A Tropic of Serpents, I believe is the name. You'll see it on the screen. Either way. But I'm very excited to continue with this series. I think I'm going to continue via audiobook because the narrator is awesome. So even though I know the physical books have pictures, I do want to own them physically, but I think I'm going to continue with the audiobook for now, just because it was a very immersive and wonderful experience. So if you don't know about this series, essentially we follow Lady Trent, but it's her memoirs, so it's the kind of trope of the older person talking about their life when they're younger. And so that trope has to be handled well, because it could be boring, because you know if like a dangerous situation happens, the person survives, right? So, you know, it can be done not well, but she does it amazingly. And the little commentaries and the snarky, like snappy wit that Lady Trent has is amazing. So essentially Lady Trent is a young woman back in times when young women should not be interested in things as barbarous and dangerous as dragons. But she, through lots of different circumstances and through some really poor decisions, she ends up being able to engage with the world of dragons. And you know, as the reader, has become, in her later age, the world's top, what's the word I'm looking for? Scientist. The world's top scientist when it comes to dragons. So this is about all of her adventures and all of the stories about how she got where she is and you know, what she experienced along the way. Based on the first book, I think I'm going to love the second one, and I'm just really excited to jump into it. And the final book, besides the TBR jar picks, which we'll do in a moment, but the final book for this month is one that was on my TBR for last month, but then some of the members of the Only Good Book Club expressed interest in reading it as well, so we decided to choose this book for March, so I took it off my TBR for February. But that is Wayward Lives, Beautiful Experiments. And this is a book about like queer, I think it's all like people of color in general, but there is a emphasis on Black women, I believe, or Black femmes. So it's a book that explores the lives of those who lead queer lives, or the lives that are off the beaten path, and how those things can be beautiful and bring meaning to life. So I'm very excited to read about this. I feel like there's going to be a lot of historical figures that I've never heard of, that I, you know, just aren't on my radar, and I'm excited to learn about their lives and what impact they've had on the world today. So I'm really looking forward to reading this as a buddy read with the Only Good Book Club, so I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Okay, let's do my physical TBR jar. Let's see if it's mean to me again. there are some other books that could come out of this that would be hard to fit into this month. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so we'll take the top off this. Back here. Okay. Do a little shuffle of the papers here. Oh, one man down. All right. I'll do the one that fell, and I'll pick one more. We'll do this one. All right, guys. Godspeed to myself. Wish me luck. The first book I picked is... Yay! Oh, yay! The House with Chicken Legs. Oh, this is so exciting. Hold on. Okay, so this is a middle grade book that was given to me by Leanne over on Leanne Reads, because she's a wonderful human. I'll link her up above and down below if you don't follow her yet. But this is a middle grade book based on the story of Baba Yaga, and I've wanted to get to it for a really long time. I've heard everyone just loves Sophie Anderson, so this is going to be such a nice change of pace between all of these classics and heavier books. Oh, this is the perfect pick. I'm so excited. Plus, look at how stunning this cover is. Middle grade books really pull out the stops when it comes to covers. Even the paperbacks are beautiful. So yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get to this one. Yes. All right. And the next pick is... Oh, I guess I'm happy about this. It's a chunker, but it is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. And I just got this book and just put this in my jar. So, all right, well okay, hold on, let me get that off the shelves. Just a second. Okay, so here she is in all of her glory with the damn sticker. If you've watched my recent vlogs, I have like rants about this, because all of the new like nice versions of books, like pre-order nice versions of books that I've gotten have this goddamn sticker. Stop it. I'm gonna put this on one of my more popular videos so that maybe some publisher somewhere will hear me. None of us want this. None of us want this. I have never heard a reader say, oh, I'm so happy that there's an exclusive or signed by the author or now a TV show sticker on my book. None of us want it. The permanent ones are bad enough, but then this one isn't permanent. And now I feel like if I try to take it off, it's gonna leave that gooey thing and it's gonna ruin the cover even more than it does with the sticker. So I don't even want to touch it, but I hate it. I hate it. Stop it. Stop it, for the love of God. Now that rant is out of the way, I just received this in the mail. So I got the first book, the one from Waterstones that had the sprayed edges, right? And so the UK spine looks different from the US spine. I hate the US spine. Like, I don't know who designed that to write the name all, like, matching the spine. It's all horizontal rather than vertical, but the UK version has the vertical look, and I love this so much more. But then Waterstones is still, you know, charging a nice price for this book, and they didn't spray the edges. What is this? What is this bullshit? So Anyway, I'm talking about the outside of the book. Let's talk about the book itself. This is a chunker, as you can see. How many pages is this book? How many pages? Miss Maas, how long did you write it this time? Because I know a couple of the other ones, let's see. About 801 pages. Okay, so I never finished the Throne of Glass series. It's just not for me so much. But I did hear that the last one, what was it, Kingdom of Ash, had like Bible pages. And I can say these are a bit thicker, so, you know, there's more of a reason for it to be this big. But yeah, that's a lot of pages, but Sarah J. Maas is one of those books that you can like fly through. And I was so surprised with how much I loved the first one, Crescent City, because, or House of Earth and Blood, my apologies. House of Earth and Blood, I really enjoyed that book, and I gave it 5 stars. And it's like the first book by Sarah J. Maas that was a 5-star for me. So I have really high hopes for this book. So yeah, that'll be really fun to pick this up, actually. So for once, my TBR jar wasn't that mean to me. Manageable. Okay, so in the end, these are all of my physical TBR books, plus the what's called Legacy of the Brightwash, which is on my Kindle, and then a couple other ones that I don't have physically. But this, I mean, it's a lot of chunky books, but now that I've kind of separated them into sections and all of that, I think it's manageable. I think I got this. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, if you're like excited to hear my thoughts on specific ones. I can't wait to get started, and I feel like there's a good mix of types of books this month. And I am excited for almost all of them. So yeah, wish me luck. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community, and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Jane!